So wonderful. Just see who else. Fernando is there. Who else? Okay. Well, hello there. Hi, Cecilia. Okay, great. Max, wonderful. We have an international group here. No one from Asia, living in Asia, but we have representation, myself included. Okay, so all right, so I will begin now. Again, if you do not have access, if you're sitting outside, you don't have paper and pencil, take a moment, go and get it, because we're going to be doing some automatic writing reflection of about this shift and preparing yourself for 2021. Um, if anyone cannot hear me, you just let me know, okay? So I'm going to switch to spotlighting me, okay? Is that better to spotlight? Yeah, okay. A lot of times I like to see everybody's energy before I start, but I think that right now I'm going to spotlight, and that when we do some sharing, questions and answer, we can go back to the gallery view or the speaker view. So everyone knows how to operate Zoom. You can switch to the upper right-hand corner. There's like a dot. You can shift to gallery or speaker view to either see the spotlight, or you can go back to gallery view to see everyone. Okay, so take a moment. Welcome to this very, very powerful, I would say, like a transition. So for some of you who may not know me, I am Raven. My birth name is Barbara, and in 1997, um, the Raven realm literally took me into their world and show me their realm, their message, and that when I came back into my body, it says, you are to take on this name as messenger from the great void. I will not go too much into my background because I did write a book called Unbinding the Soul by B. Raven Lee. That's why B is the Barbara, B. Raven Lee. That vibration was never really the vibration of my spirituality. So your name has a spiritual vibration too. That when you sense that connection to what you're called, it actually help resonate and help shift vibration. So if you wish to know more about my background, my work, you can order the book. All donations, all proceeds are donated to the Burn Foundation for orphanage, for medical clinic in Dopal, Nepal. And everything I do, I always give a percentage. So I always believe that abundance is really a flow of energy. So so the first thing is I always like to tell people I'm talking about solstice. However, I'm not an astrologist. I'm not an astronomer. For me, it's like I am connected to energy. Many of you already know me, studied with me. Some of you are new, and some of you more connected with meditation. I always believe that many of us are sensitive, intuitive, and that from very young we may have been overwhelmed by the messages or by the energy that we experience, confused, not understanding, and so we shut down this gift. And that is what happened to me. And so since very, very young, I already sense energy, spirit. Born Catholic, so definitely did not want to tell what I saw to the priest or to my parents. Otherwise, I would be told to be quiet, don't stir waves. So even as I share, some of you are nodding your heads to recognize that each of us who are drawn to come to hear are really sensitive empath. You might be drawn to energy. You might be drawn to meditation, to healing work, to shamanic work. But the most important key is about cultivating the wisdom that will stabilize your awareness. And what is it? That awareness is connected to the universe. That awareness allows you to sense all the different kinds of energy, allows you to sense how when energy is too much, you get overwhelmed and shut down. So when you become aware, that awareness is inseparable from who we truly are, the source. In my book, Unbinding the Soul, I speak about how during my crisis 30 some years ago, it cracked me open. And in that cracking open, in the deepest part of my crisis, when my husband committed suicide, because I spoke up to say, you're going crazy, you're not safe here, please, let's separate. And during that separation, he committed suicide. So I was encased in this grief, in this shame and darkness. But in that moment, I was blessed that a friend of mine took me to a meditation, and it was my karma. So don't think that every time you go to meditation, you're going to have that cracking open. But for me, it did. It was like as if there was my karma that in the darkest part of my suffering, this light of compassion, inseparable from wisdom, came to me. So my work since that time has been about studying the power of this energy, studying about consciousness. And as I keep doing that, more and more, I was drawn to East and West. I was born Catholic, but then after a while, the Jungian archetype and healing work, I found my lineage, which is the Tibetan indigenous religion called Bon. It's the oldest tradition. I felt I was home. And I thought that, oh, I can just devote myself to Bon and to Buddhism. And of course, in 2007, I was called to go back to revisit my mystical Catholic root. The story is in the book, so I won't go into it. But you might ask, what is this has to do with the solstice? Especially related to two solstices I'll be talking about. Many people know about this solstice, that it is a rare occurrence. But how many of you know that this solstice is really an 8-year culmination of the winter solstice of 2012 of the Mayan calendar? So I'm going to speak about that. And that 2012 Mayan calendar, the solstice, that was not the most important thing. What happened was the Venus transit that happened, earlier that year. And that Venus transit is related to Mary Magdalene, related to the 5-point star, and related to our human incarnation. All right. So if you have a questions, write it down, and then after this, please, then you can ask some questions. But for now, I would like for you to just let yourself take in the information. So in 2007, a vision came to me, and I was called to go to southern France, not knowing why. I just went. And of course, Mary Magdalena came to me. And then from there, I kept asking her, what is the healing we need? She said one word, unity. And that during the 2 weeks I was leading a pilgrimage, she came to me with just a phrase here and there, time for unity, unifying yin and yang, male and female, east and west, the differences coming together. All right. Unification is important. So that was 2007. When I came back that 2 weeks in 2007, I began reading the gospel teachings of Mary Magdalene. And I was astonished how similar it was to Buddhist teaching. And as if though I actually understood the lines, the words, the unspoken words between the written one. And for 3 years, I kept going back. At the end of that pilgrimage, 2009, I was asked by my first shaman teacher to teach shamanism. I had no idea to teach, it's like that was not my calling. I was a therapist. My first love was meditation, but that in my meditative experiences, I began to sense more and more pure light, more and more that this body is not solid. So as I began to teach that, there were more things coming to me. I entered into a dark retreat, 49 days in 2010. When I emerged, I saw these ticklies of light. I was given this message to infuse the traditional Reiki with what I call Shakti Reiki, and to bring that more and more into the shamanic training that I have now called mystic shamanism, emphasizing first mysticism, the oneness, meditation, and from there the gifts of shamanic healing flows. And so as I kept reading about Mary Magdalene, a message came to pay attention to the 2012 solstice. So the thing about winter solstice is that it comes from the word sun and stillness. It is at that moment of winter solstice is the darkest, longest night. And at that moment, the sun, as if though it is still, and it enters, and they are on that darkest day, which is tomorrow. The sun is still and enveloped by the darkness. Many people think, oh, this is where we have to go inside and honor the feminine. Actually, it's true, we are going inside. But many misunderstand that this is actually the birth of a new masculine. And this is why tomorrow is such a powerful conjunction with winter solstice. A lot of times conjunctions don't happen on winter solstice, but this year it is. I will be speaking in this teaching and then guiding you in a reflection. But first, to clarify, what is winter solstice? That means that since June 21st, you have been actually moving more and more into more darkness, more darkness, more darkness. So that by tomorrow is the darkest point. Why the darkest point? Because from the darkness, new birth can happen. So as you're listening to me, reflect on yourself. This is a culmination of 2012. Why 2012? The Mayan prophesied many, many thousands of years ago that on winter solstice, there's going to be the end of an era. How many of you remember that there was such fear that it was going to be the end of the world? And I kept telling my students, no, it's the end of a world as we know it. What kind of world? Patriarchy, the distorted masculine. So an astronomer also confirmed, they say, we have never seen this phenomenon. And what is that? That the solar system will be crossing the galactic equator and the Earth, aligning itself with the center of the galaxy. Ooh, I'm going to repeat that again. All right. So 8 years ago, tomorrow, astronomer says the solar system is now entering, crossing the galactic equator, our equator, the Milky Way, entering the darkest part of the Milky Way at the location called the dark rift. This is astronomers' term. They say that they don't even know what this means, what it will do to us. But the Mayan knew, and the Mayan wrote this down. They say on December 21st, it's going to be a new birth, a start of the new sun. What is the new sun? the sun that is connected to the feminine. The sun, the solar system, is going to enter into the darkest part and going to be infused in that dark rift. So at sunrise on December 21st, 2012, it is also said that for the first time in 26,000 years, some of you know that number is very sacred. It is related to the Kali Yuga, the Vedanta. So there's something happening in 2012. It's about this huge shift. The sun rises to conjunct with the intersection of the Milky Way, forming a cross. Then you ask, well, what has that got to do with this? 8 years. Why 8 years? Because of Venus transit. In Mayan tradition, the serpent king, Quetzalcoatl, was said to, when he left this physical world, he went to Venus. So Venus has actually held in high esteem. For some of us, for those who went with me to Peru, remember we were at a museum and there was Venus held in highest. And I asked the guide, why? What's the teaching? And they say, we don't know. We don't know why Venus is so important. And of course, we now know that that is related to the Mayan teaching, to the connection to Venus. And of course, Venus is the planet of love. But it's also the morning star that accompanies the sun and accompanies the sun to set. So it's called morning star and evening star. So the Venus is a companion of the sun. And then, of course, what else is Venus? Venus is said to orbit the Earth, orbit together with the Earth. And as it orbits 8 years, it it meets the orbit of the Earth. Astronomers call that the kiss. The Earth and Venus kisses, meet. And in the sky, when they weave this, it forms a 5-point star. 5-point star. 5-point star is actually a powerful symbolism. Look at how we use the 5-point star. The 5-point star is also related to the 5 elements. And most important, we have 5 digits. Only humans have that. We have our 5 the senses. But most important is that the 5 elements. So the magical number 5. So I have done a teaching on this. I won't go into it, but to let you know that the Venus transit is very much related to the Mayan. Their calendar is based on Venus cycle. So now you begin to see the connection to Venus. And in 2012, Venus was the first time that we could see with our naked eye. And why is that important? Quantum physicist says everything is in the wave until we can see it. When it is being seen, it becomes a particle. It is manifested. This is important because tomorrow we are able to see Saturn and Jupiter in their conjunction. It is so bright we can see it. Last time we couldn't even see it. It was too far. So seeing it tomorrow is powerful. There is something about seeing it, feeling and connected to Saturn and Jupiter, which I'll talk about, the power of these planets. But the first thing is to recognize first, solstice, winter solstice. It's really about coming from the womb of the Great Mother and to say every day is going to be lighter and lighter. So you are reflecting to say, what am I birthing in my new masculine, new way of acting being in life? How can I truly harness the wisdom of this feminine that has been now ready to be in this birth canal? So, winter solstice is like as if though you are in this birth canal, and as each day come, you're going to allow more light, more light, more light, so that equinox is very balanced. So when equinox come, there's more of a sense of male and female balance. I'm having a sense of what is to be birthed in 2021. What's my action? What are some projects, ways of thinking that will affect my life in a different way? So back to 2012, Venus. So earlier that year, we were able to see Venus. So whatever we saw in Venus, the 5-point star, ending the 8-year cycle, we were able to bring that to the 2012 winter solstice. So the winter solstice of 2012 is imbued with this Venus energy. And of course, we all know when we are called to say it's the end of one era and ready for the next, they're growing pains. So the last 8 years, we have been experiencing the power of the shadow, birthing. In order for the new feminine, called the New World Sun, which is about sacred partnership, the old distorted male energy is not about men. Patriarchy has nothing to do with men or women. It is a way of thinking. It has to do with dominance, has to do with the earth is there for me to use. And so we can ignore the connection. We focus then always on how can I use this for my advantage. And it culminated, and we saw it culminating this last few years of the abuse of power. So that was 2012. It already says the solar energy is going to be encased. And so for 8 years until tomorrow, we are going through the first completion of the Venus transit. It's the first one after this new shift has happened. So I've been paying attention to say, I know 2020 is going to be big, but I had no idea what was going to happen. I knew that there was going to be some challenge. My students knew that it was like on January 12th, I had no idea that there was going to be this huge stellium of Saturn and Pluto, which is about old structure. And I said to my students, it just so happened, I had a teaching on that day. I said, all right, there's going to be crisis. There's going to be financial issues. A lot of fear is going to come. I had no idea about the pandemic. I said, okay, if you ride this, and when fear comes, can you bring that and realize that that's what Saturn and Pluto is doing in Capricorn? So I'm going to speak about that now. So I'm going to now go back to the gallery to say any questions first about the 2012 of Venus before I move to the power of the solstice for tomorrow. All right. I know there's a lot of information, but the most important is about cultivating your awareness to source, but to realize that everything has energy. So when a planet, when the moon change, you know you're affected, right? Yeah, and it affects the ocean, the tide, it affects planting, the cycle, the season. Instead of saying, oh, why do we want astrology? It's woo-woo, I just want to meditate, forget that. It is important to recognize we are energy beings and we will be affected not only by our thoughts, but the people around us, but also the environment. And our environment also include the planet, the sun, the moon. The moment you were born, that first breath, that's what astrology says, that those planetary alignment affect you. But doesn't mean that you don't have free will to change. It's so important not to rely on, let me have my astrology reading, then I go out. No. My service is to say, nothing can replace discovering through meditation your true awareness that is not disturbed. That's the key. Nothing can be disturbed. Nothing can disturb your true connection. Of course, it's easier said than done. Meditation is powerful to help stabilize, but we need all these practices to help us understand ways that we lose our awareness. That's why there is, tapping in the energy psychology. But tapping alone is not the solution. We can't tap everything away. Tapping is just to stabilize disturbance. There's Reiki that I teach. Reiki is a powerful healing. And when we bring healing, it helps the person to not get so entangled. The key word, not so entangled. When it's loosened, guess where we always go back to? Meditation. So my calling to share this is to say, wow, this meditation tomorrow is going to be huge by bringing information. This information is going to help you realize that why you've been sensing such a lot of shift. Because earlier this year, the stellium says Saturn and Pluto going to conjunct in Capricorn. Pluto is a planet of death and rebirth. Saturn, structure. Structure falling apart. So what have we had this whole year? And this whole year we have had powerful, the first total eclipse was just a week ago. All right. When we have total eclipse, that means for the next 6 months, that effect is going to be seen. Capricorn, all of these conjunction has been in Earth planet, Earth alignment. Because the Earth is about how we have had to build our Earth. We have been focused on survival. What will make us feel safe? What kind of house? What kind of profession? What kind of relationship will house me? Right? So tomorrow is also Saturn, but instead of Pluto, thank goodness, Pluto is not conjunct tomorrow. We have Jupiter. Whew, sigh of relief. Saturn is still going to be there because Saturn, the gift of Saturn is to say, how are you going to show up? It's about responsibility. What's your ability to respond? So that's going to be reflecting. I'm going to ask you now, 8 years ago, what was your life like? 8 years ago, when the great Mayan shift was happening, what was stirring in you? So that these last 8 years, as you culminate, what are you aware of? What are you ready for tomorrow's winter solstice to truly shift? Because tomorrow is going to be a huge shift that will align with 2012. 2012 says we're going to enter into a new world and a new element called ether, space. The Mayan shaman says we are now going to be focusing on space, the space in the space globally, the space. What is in the space for you? When do you feel your space is intruded and you go into fear? And then tomorrow, Saturn says, I'm going to conjunct with Jupiter. It's a very rare occurrence because they are the two biggest planet, brightest. It has not conjunct and so close to the Earth in 800 years. 800. Wow. And the next time like something like this happen, I don't think we're going to be around. 60 years later, this will happen again. I don't think we're going to be around in this physical incarnation. So it's powerful tomorrow. And it's also powerful in 2012 when I witnessed Venus, because the next time Venus is visible is the year 2117. Not in this incarnation either. But what is powerful is that it's going to be shifting to Aquarius. That all of us who are seekers, that is going to be a powerful shift. Very powerful. That means that your awareness, instead of focusing on earth issues, is going to be focusing on air, related to air. What is air? Ideology, ideas, beliefs, internet, in space. So that's what Mayan's saying. It's going to be space. But what kind of space? The space where the feminine and the masculine can come together. And Saturn is always seen as the masculine planet, and Jupiter, more feminine. Jupiter, thank goodness, I kept saying thank goodness, because it is about joy. Saturn wants to keep holding you down to say, be responsible. There's that rigidity, structure. Come on, let's structure this. Let's organize. How are you showing up? All right. And Jupiter says, joy, abundance, expansion. So Saturn is going to pair with Jupiter tomorrow and shifting into Aquarius. Wow. Male and female, the energy. Jupiter expansion is about recognizing we are all connected. So as we expand, how are you going to structure your life? How are you going to structure the way you're going to step into your world beginning on 22nd of December? So I'm going to pause here. All right. So tomorrow, why is it significant? The rarest occurrence in 800 years. Visible. You can see it at sunset. Here in LA, it's about 5:45 p.m. It's usually about 45 minutes after sunset, okay, like in Europe, after sunset, wherever you are. Wait about 45 minutes, and you will see two bright planets. Jupiter is the brighter one, and then Saturn, all right, because Jupiter is closer to the Earth. And it will feel like they are kissing you, or they're kissing one another. They're so close together. And as you look at that tomorrow, that's why I want to do the teaching today, because you will spend today and tomorrow for us here, or you will spend the night for those who are already sleeping, going to be going to bed soon. Take your time to cook this teaching. How did you begin 2012? For me, I turned 60. It was a year so much burned from me. I was given many, many lessons to test. Am I going to go into fear and control? Or am I going to let the burning burn me? And I came out of it feeling more powerful, clearer. So that was what 2012 is. What was burning in you? What captured you? And how 2012 to now, these last 8 years, even right down now, what were immediate points, like main points? What were some important things that happened to you the last 8 years? Did you join a training? Did you end a relationship? Did you start a relationship? Did some health issue come? Did it teach you? What has been happening to you? So that's the first step, because I'll be guiding a meditation to prepare you for tomorrow. Because people forget. Remember I said that they think you just go in. No, we've been going in a lot. So today and tomorrow is let's harvest. Let's sit with it. Doesn't mean you don't go in, but each day there's going to be more light. So each day in your meditation is about what gifts, what lesson, what am I called to expand, especially in Saturn, my old structure, old beliefs that no longer serve me, old beliefs that have held me back. Aquarius, those who knows astrology and tarot cards, is the water bearer, correct? The water bearer, pouring water. The tarot card, especially in relating to astrology, the water bearer is said to be pouring from heaven to the human realm. And for those of you who've been studying Mary Magdalene, that is exactly what's happening. No accident that the solstice is so close to the birth of Christ. Of course, it's not the true birthday of Christ, but it's a symbolism that it is about Christ consciousness. Because what is solstice? The winter solstice, the birthing of a new masculine. What is Christ trying to teach us? The birth of a new masculine consciousness called the Sacred Heart, the feminine. So each Christmas is not about just gift giving. It's about how are you gifting from your heart to benefit, to bring joy to one another? How are you going to walk this path differently? So look at Christmas a little bit different now. So what energy that you've been entangled? So there are two questions. What are you still entangled? What story captures you? Because that is what Capricorn stellium with Saturn and Pluto says, okay, this whole year, we are going to have a virus to help us get to our knees. Those of you who think you can plan, those of you who think you have control, forget it. But the beauty, people forget, they get angry at why do we have virus? I'm not angry or what, but I'm appreciative. I'm grateful that whatever is happening in my life is a teaching. It is teaching me that without the virus, maybe our president would not have, been, show his failure, his incompetency. The virus is teaching us we are interconnected. You think that just because you are wealthy, you can escape to Antigua on your boat, you won't get it. The richest people can get it still. The virus is mutating. But there are research to show that if your immune system is good, even if you were exposed to it, you will not, be so sick. So what helps our immune system? Our awareness, our appreciation, coming into our sacred heart to truly feel the love for our humanity, to let the water of Aquarius pour into us to realize we are all connected. So we're not judging anyone. We're not judging the Trump supporters. We're not judging those who might be committing certain crimes against humanity. Just because we don't judge doesn't mean we condone. Condonement means that you make excuses. Saturn is saying with Jupiter, let's expand, let's connect, let's have abundance so that instead of condemning our irresponsibility, can we expand it? Can we learn from it? All right. So I will be guiding a meditation and a journey to meet tomorrow, solstice. So I will be connecting you to the planet, Jupiter and Saturn, entering into Aquarius. I always believe in education to give you information as to why tomorrow is significant. Not only that it's going to be beautiful, it's a rare astronomical occurrence, but that the Mayan and all the shamans of tradition, they look at the moon, they look at the sun. Even in my tradition of the burn, there's the highest teaching called Sukchen, but there is a shamanic vehicle. There's study of astrology, divination, but it is not to take place of our wisdom. It is information to say we're living in this world of energy. When we begin to have information of how we are affected, it helps us ride it. I think one of you said, oh, it really helped me to look at 2020 to understand what is going on. And so I want to find out, is 2021 going to be better? I said, I don't know whether 2021 is going to be better. Can you hear now? Accidentally, I pushed. Yeah. 2021 is asking you to be focusing on joy, not focusing on hurt. Okay, that's number one. So I'm going to go through it. What hurt are you still holding? What ways are you still judging yourself? Doesn't mean that, oh, I should forgive, all the trauma I have, and forget it and just bypass. We're not bypassing our hurt, but we are bringing a sense of abundance to say, whatever hurt, can I release these old beliefs about me? Because when something happened to us, it is the I in us that make it solid. Oh, my parent did this to me. My friend did this to me. How could how could that person say this about me? I've been her friend. So there's an I that Saturn is saying, hey, release that structure. Tomorrow, Saturn is saying, hey, are you ready to go into Aquarius age? Into the age of Aquarius, into allowing wisdom to pour into you, to dissolve the I that is held solid, to forgive those who have done wrong to you, not condoning it, but not to hold it in your body, not to hold the story within you. All right. So, any questions on Mary Magdalene? So, Mary Magdalene was seen as uh, the the high priestess of Isis, and the Isis high priestess did a lot of work with Venus. So that's number one. Number two, that there is a research called the Venus imprint, and they actually research how Mary Magdalene's teaching connected to the 5-point star. Next year, I'll be taking, I've taken people to southern France. Well, actually not taken, yes, but not in such a deep way. Next year, I'll be taking people, especially with Mary Magdalene's teaching. But there is a powerful place called Utal, this village. And it rains. Guess what? Claire and Janet came with me. 5-point star stones. 5-point star stones from the sky. And it is in the garden of this amazing church that was dedicated to Our Lady. And when I've been visiting southern France, Mary Magdalene was known to have come across Egypt. That's where Isis order was, and landed in southern France. And many pictures I saw in the churches in southern France showing the Madonna, the Black Madonna and the Christ, was actually Isis and Horus. So it had this Egyptian and this connection to the Isis. There are stones that is called the seat of Isis there. Where did it come from? So historians, especially those who are on the mystical path, has been bringing Mary Magdalene teaching together with the elements, together with the power of the 5-point star, which is the Venus, the 5-point star, forming the 5-point star. And the most important is that our body, when you stretch it out, remember Leonardo, da Vinci, is a 5-point star. But the most important is the heart. Center of the heart is the pentagram, right? But the pentagram, when you keep looking at it, you can form multiple pentagrams. Those who study geometric healing, they unearth a mystical teaching related to what we call the dodecahedron. So deep within our heart is like a gateway. When I first awakened and connected to healing, studying different forms of energy, including hypnotherapy, shamanic healing, and the greatest energy is the pure energy of our awareness. And as my mind stable more and more and more, it was like my ability to see the light became clearer and clearer. And before I even found the burn, I saw in my heart channels of light coming into my eyes, channels spreading everywhere. And when I was meditating with Mary Magdalene, and in 2014, I was gifted a symbol that is related to 5-point star. Some of you were there with me, the Dragonfly tribe. There was no mistake. We created a 5-point star in the center of the shrine room. And when we activated it, they all felt this pouring of light into the center. And it was the next day was the June 21st solstice. How many of you were there? You remember? You can even write in the chat your experience. Write your chat in, everyone. What was your experience? For me, I'm not attached. Is it going to work or not? I never attach. I just be open and feel the energy. And then as I sat with that, the dodecahedron came. And it has become a powerful portal. And in today's journey and meditation, we're going to enter through the sacred heart of the male-female. And in some ways, the outer planet is Saturn and Jupiter coming together into Aquarius. All right. So are you ready to go on this journey, this meditation? Any questions? I know it's a lot of information. And when you begin the journey, you let go of all information. You trust it. Take a look and see all the people around you. I'm going to just see how everyone say hi to people. Seeing who's there. Hello. All right. And to say, those of us, many of you said, I cannot be there. Can I get the recording? Yes. You can share this recording. But it's very powerful that you're here physically now because you're going to be guided into this meditation. And definitely, hopefully, those who are listening can watch it by tonight or so that they can prepare tomorrow. Because tomorrow, your awareness is going to go through a powerful influx of information. There are many, many researchers are now looking at the power of non-dual awareness, looking at what causes to go into duality. Duality means outside, inside, subject, object, bad, good, judgment. When we are able to allow, not following our thoughts, not following sounds, and keep connecting and connected, we are stepping into a wellspring of oneness. And when our awareness can settle in that, so what you're going to be experiencing is that you're becoming one. You are Saturn and Jupiter. You are all the planets. We are all connected. You are the one that is in fear, and you are the one that is on this spiritual path. And we're going to allow the pouring of wisdom coming to you. So part of this is a healing. So that's why I've asked you to write. Yes, Max says we're under a beautiful blanket, warm and cozy, ready to start. Yes, you're ready to start. And again, it is about lifting the veil of your illusion. We're not here to go out and try to learn more techniques. We're here to say, can we let those techniques cook deeper by discovering this wisdom template? It's like a piece of puzzle. There's a template when you first have a puzzle, and you begin to put one to the next, and you press it, and you look at the points. Mary Magdalene's teaching says we have this template in us, our divine self, our spiritual self, or in meditation, sometimes it's called Buddha nature, or in my tradition of meditation, it's like our true nature. Our true nature is not disturbed by whatever shows up. And we know that if we're disturbed, we know the way back. So we are not judging, oh my God, I've been disturbed. So the voice that says, oh my God, I've been disturbed. I should know better. You wake up to say, here is judgment. Can I come back and allow those thoughts to come and go? I now know I can use my tapping to release the energy that captured me. I can use breath. I can use my 3 doors practice of Zalong, 9 breathings of purification. All those practice is to loosen ways you're entangled. I'm going to say it again. All these practices are simply wisdom practice that can help loosen where you're entangled. Can I purify, clear? And after all of these tapping and various things, then can you sit in meditation? Can you sit and let yourself allow the light that is already in you? Your template has been covered up. Those of you who did Mary Magdalene's teaching with me, there is an amazing teaching called Soul Ascension. So the soul, you have to pass through ignorance, pass through wrath, anger, pass through attachment. And those of us who know Buddhism says, wow, the three aspects. But the soul ascend and says to ignorance, and ignorance turn and say, how come I didn't see you? You are a murderer. You're trying to take over. And the soul says, I was always with you, but I was covered up. You didn't see me, but I saw you. and now I'm free. So this is what tomorrow can bring. We are shifting to Aquarius where the wisdom water can pour into you. Mary Magdalene's teaching for those who have been studying or those of you who have been working with Reiki, working with Three Doors meditation, Radiant Heart meditation. Take that deeper. Don't stop with just tapping and clearing. Now bring yourself into meditation by discovering what is your template. So I'm going to ask, what is your original template? What has covered you up? My grandson, I've been watching him. He cries and then he laughs. You know, he makes a smile and then he makes a face. All emotions are there. All emotions, but no attachment yet. There's nothing to make it solid because he's not aware. It's just come and go. However, if there were parents around him, if there were challenges that my newborn son, my newborn grandson, if suddenly there was someone who was very stressed and a baby crying and the person starts smacking, then they imprint. So this is how we get imprint. And it covers up the light that's always there. I know it's a kind of a cosmic joke that it is through suffering that compassion can arise. It is through suffering that we want to discover our original wholeness. That is the template. Okay? So I know that I've been teasing you to say, are you ready? Are you ready? Because more and more is to say, what glimpses of your original wholeness you've always had? A sense of peace, a sense of love. What has been clearing for you? What old stories have been covered up? And the key is, what have you been afraid to do in your life? How are you been hiding? Are you so afraid because you're so sensitive to other people's energy to say, I'm not safe? So what is going to be your I believe? I'm not safe. I'm not strong enough. If I am seen, if I'm successful, I will make mistake. I need to be perfect. So what message have you in your journey you have taken on? Which Saturn and Pluto this whole last year, for those who can ride it with the virus, with the fear, can say, oh, let go of fear, let go of control. Can I ride it? Can I go into compassion? All right. Doesn't mean that challenges will not happen. Thanksgiving a few weeks ago, my daughter's apartment was burned down. She was supposed to have been there with her baby, but a little birdie told her, come earlier. So she was here in our house. I was cooking dinner and she got a message, your house is burning. She went there and I was holding space. And for those who know about Reiki and shamanic, it's like I was also simultaneously cooking and sending her energy and helping her. And that night, helping her ground. The next morning, releasing her trauma, doing some tapping, EMDR, actual techniques that helps trauma, but it's only to loosen entanglement. And then singing to her, helping her. She couldn't even meditate because when we first go through trauma, meditation, forget it. Our body needs comfort. So what is your body carrying that is asking you, can I be held in the water of Aquarius, in the expansion of Jupiter? So the key word is, what holds you back from joy? So that's the second question. What holds you back from abundance? So now you have two questions. What belief do you have that you're holding on? I can't do this. Second belief. What holds you back from joy, from abundance? Because Saturn is about limitation, structure. I've got to do this so that I can fit in. That's the shadow of Saturn, okay? I have to fit in. And Jupiter say, joy, be joyful, abundance. So these two energy come into Aquarius now. All right, I think we are ready. Okay. Yes, the collective humanity is shifting. It's true, Beatrice, because that is what 2012 was about. But most people are focusing, oh, wow, oh, our world, it was about patriarchy, but they did not know the power of Venus. So every 8 years, you now know the next 8 years, 2028. Let's see what's happening in the next 2028, and then the next 8 years, 8 years. So every 8 years, Venus transit comes into a closure on solstice. All right. Okay. Are you ready? So the moment you're ready, just find a good posture. All right. If you wish to lie down, that is fine. But be aware that instead of falling asleep, feel that you have a glimmer of light. You have a light that the moment if you fall asleep, you set the intention that you are awake. You're aware. So you're not falling asleep. Falling asleep means there's no awareness. But the moment there's still an awareness, there's light. All right. So take a deep breath. All right. And first feel the energy around you, the space. This space is the original space of all. And this space goes all the way to the Big Bang and beyond. As if though, as you keep sensing this space, does it have a beginning or an end? But the one who is aware, stay connected to the center of your body. In some tradition, it's called the shushumai, or the central pillar, or the central channel, from your crown all the way to 3 fingers below your navel. And we're not going to stop there. Feel as if though at your juncture, it spreads out like a lotus. And there's a point from that lotus flower touching your pelvic floor, your perineum. Your crown is open, the heaven, and now it goes all the way around your hips, down the back of your legs, to the sole of your feet, and to Mother Earth. All the way first. Father Sky, opening from crown, through the central channel, the breath flow into it, all the way down, feel the energy flowing down to the beautiful crystal of Mother Earth. You are both stardust and crystal. You are both having this in every cell. Science says we have stardust in us. We have minerals in us. Take a moment first, not in your head, but to allow your body to realize I am both sky and earth. Especially I'm sky. I am stardust. I'm connected to all the stars. And this is the Aquarius, to allow that glimpse of wisdom pouring from the heavens into your crown chakra, into the center of your body, and rest in your heart. And now feel the crystals of Mother Earth dancing below you. And as you take a deep breath in, feel Mother Earth crystal energy flow up your legs, your feet, coming up to your pelvic floor, your central channel, and meet at the heart. And allow the lights, rainbow lights, to swirl in your heart. Every breath, when thoughts come, feel the breath of heaven and the breath of earth return you to your heart. The heart resonates with the same frequency as Mother Earth. And as our awareness rests in our heart, as if though our original template is activated like a key. Whether you sense it or not, feel as if though your whole body is like the 5-point star. The center of your body, your heart, front and back, becomes like a 3-dimensional multi-pentagram crystals. Yet your awareness is grounded in your body. So now, as your heart crystal open more and more, feel the presence, the divine male-female energy in whatever form, whether it's Christ and Mary Magdalena, whether it is a male energy and a female, whatever it is, the balance male and female. And as you take a deep breath in, hold that breath in your heart. And as you exhale, go deeper into that crystal as if though you're entering through a doorway back into your original template, like a newborn baby. And now you can sense simultaneously the earth and the sky. You can sense and feel the coming together, Saturn and Jupiter, the vibration. Breathe in like a beautiful nectar into your heart. What old structure is dying to allow your expansion and joy? As you sit in the darkest part of the night, in that darkness is like getting ready for rebirth. The breath is a powerful bridge. The breath is connected to the Aquarius air element, and yet the breath flows from the space, the new world sun, the new world element from the Mayan. Space and breath is supporting your awareness to shift. The light of your heart feels brighter and brighter, expanding and expanding. Yet you're grounded. Your awareness is grounded in this earth plane, inseparable from space. Pouring the light now into 2021. What are you seeing? What have you learned this year? Allow Saturn and Jupiter to shine this light, opening to how you're going to walk and birth this with every day for the next 6 months. What newness, awareness are you bringing? How are you welcoming joy, releasing anger, judgment of yourself and others? Can we celebrate diversity rather than be afraid of it? Take a moment now as you rest in the silence of the universe. You will hear the sound of the space speaking to you. Mary Magdalene says, "It is in the silence that I hear the truth." Sit in the silence of heaven and earth, the light of your heart opening to your original template. Power of breath that flows from the divine space into your human space. the breath as it flows in. As you exhale, radiating light from every direction of your heart, back and front, especially opening your hands and your feet as a 5-point star, grounded and connected. And receive this powerful song and connect it to the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ, Mary Magdalene, in honoring for the symbolic birth of Christ consciousness, ushering us. How are we birthing on Christmas Day? How are we birthing true ways, releasing old structures, old judgments, going beyond human-made religion? How can we show up truly to have compassion for all, appreciation for all? Anushketa Savam Anushketa Savam Anushketa Savam. Open your heart, feel the divine. Let love light flow from your heart to mine. Anush Keta Sava. Anush Keta Sava. Anush Keta Sava. Breathe those words in. Breathe that into your heart, every cell. These sacred syllables of ancient times, touching every cell to return you to your original wholeness. And that tomorrow's solstice, you are a light bringer. As you look at the night sky and you sing, you chant, you open your heart to the joy of Jupiter, spreading joy and gift, especially the next few days. Joy in your words. The moment you find yourself saying things to put yourself down or saying something that judges yourself or others, you hear Anushketa Sava. You hear the sound of the Great Mother, or whatever sound is coming to you now. Is there a particular prayer that's coming to you now? A song? I will sing to you too this beautiful sound from the burn that I sing to my grandson. Om, 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 Feel the sound. Feel the wisdom, the healing. It's like the water bear of Aquarius, nectar dropping, your hands coming alive. And as we complete this, feel that your awareness bring the blessing from the beautiful infinite sky. All of the planets, you now know you are infinitely connected. You bring all of that energy now coming like a rainbow bridge into your heart, into the center of the dodecahedron, or simply feel a crystal, and the light is there. Your hands are filled with that vibration. Your feet is planted in Mother Earth. You bring your hands together to your body. And where do you want to bring that healing? Is it to your heart, to your throat, to your crown, to your eyes, to your lower back? And feel that light pouring with this blessing that you are in this human body, and that of course you will feel the stress of all of the energy. And with this blessing and this journey of connection, asking, setting the intention, may my awareness, may my connection to Father Sky, to heaven and earth, help me loosen, help me come back to my divine seed. And hear sacred sounds. See the true story of this incarnation. Take time now to return and feel this blessing, and especially offer this healing to those of us, our family, who might be suffering ill. They are in fear, especially sending to all of those who are in the first responder, nurses, those who are doing cleaning in the hospitals, respiratory therapists, those who are cooking for us, everyone who cannot just sit in their home to do Zoom. We send the blessings to you. And that the next few months are going to be vital until March equinox. May you all become this powerful light bringer, that the moment you feel a contraction around you, some energy around you, you can now clear it. You can bring this light. Continue to bring Saturn and bringing Jupiter of joy and Aquarius, clearing and clearing what the Mayan have come to prophesize. A new world is now arisen of sacred partnership. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So take your time. Allow yourself to bring that. Some of you may sense a healing with your ancestors or global or your own self, or you feel where you are stuck. And to know that this is not who you truly are, but simply pure light. So, and I welcome your sharing, recognizing that this is being shared with others, and that your sharing, if you so choose or call to share, is a gift to others who will listen and hear. And that at the very end, for those who might wish to leave, those who want to stay, I will be talking about, I know some of you would like to hear about the Mary Magdalene pilgrimage or the teachings, the various trainings I do, and especially the Mystic Shamanic program. So if you want to stay, I will be talking about that. But for now, I'm deeply grateful for you all here. I am grateful to all of the spirits, the guides, and especially to Mother Earth, Father Sky, and all of our traditions, the wisdom traditions, to teach us to remember, and that all of our suffering is to guide us into compassion. Compassion cannot arise without suffering. And we need compassion now. Okay. So please, anyone who wish to share, just simply um, just have your, just unmute. All right. You can also, there is a, oh yes, Janine, yeah, who, yes, there is a hand sign in the participant. Who is that? Janine, is that right? Did I pronounce it correctly? That wish to share, your hand is up. I don't know whether you're up to share or you have a question. So I'm just looking to see. All right. And again, you can simply just unmute and start speaking. I don't know whether you felt the power of Saturn and Jupiter and how Solstice is asking you to birth a new masculine consciousness by sitting in the darkness of the Great Mother. So, yes, good. Again, just allow this, and again, questions or experience. Okay, Janet says bringing AKS. Some of you says, what is AKS? And I would like to acknowledge Devora. Say, Devora, all right, you can unmute and uh, you can share about this song that you wrote. Anush Ketar Sava is the mantra that came 2014 when I was teaching the first tribe. Yes.
Hi. That song just came to me from Spirit. The day that we opened the portal at Liberty Advance, we did the 5-point star and the light came down. And before we started the meditation today, I went and I got the crystal that Raven used. We were opening the star, which has been in my mesa as I've been studying also Peruvian shamanism. So once again, it's like the gifts that we get from Spirit, they transcend all tradition. Mm-hmm. They come straight from Spirit into our hearts. Absolutely. And I feel so blessed to have been part of this today. Thank you so much, Raven. It was wonderful to hear you sing. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, thank you. Yeah. So the three words Anush Ketar Safa. Maybe Janet, you can write it down for people what they are. So we went on this journey and this pouring of light. Jesus Christ, Mary Magdalene came into the center of the 5-point star, and like got these three symbols. Anush is I think it's Armenian, really very much related to the Persian, which means sweetness. And it is the sweetness, and Ketar, the Hebrew for the crown. And but instead of the crown that's here, it is in the heart. Sava is Sanskrit for clearing all obstacle. So these three mantra or three sounds or three words, Anush Keta Sava, is bringing these ancient, very ancient civilization to say that the sweetness of our heart crown, the crown of our heart, the seat of our consciousness, can clear all obstacles. All right. And then Devora magically did a beautiful, they open your heart, and we sang it all the time. And then I think Claudia, she did a French version that we sang to the French students. And we welcome translation of, to German, to any other, maybe a Chinese one. And we sing it. And so it's a wonderful blessing. Anush, yeah, yeah, wonderful. Anyone else? Yes. Marie-Claude, you're here. Did you want to share? Yeah, I don't know. Are you here? Okay. I see the hand, but I don't see. All right, Marie-Claude, we? Okay. Anyone wish to share? Just unmute, okay? All right. Whoever wish to share whatever experience they got. All right. Um, so what I would do is, if it feels right, yeah, beautiful. Yes, Anush Keta Safa. Yes, it's thank you, Janet, thank you, Beatrice. Uh-huh. It clears all obstacles, exactly. So you all can sing this, chant this, and those who have trained in Reiki, you will know that this is a symbol, a song that on a master level, but you have permission to sing it, and that in your Reiki session you can bring this healing to that as well, to all of them. Okay, all right.
Raven, Raven,
Yes,
I was wondering, what crystals would you recommend using during this time that may be
quartz.
quite
Quartz crystal. Where's my quartz crystal? I have a giant quartz crystal that I use. Excuse me. This is a quartz crystal from Mount Kailash. Um, and you could see that it has both male female energy in this. So the quartz crystal, especially, the quartz is the especially used for the space. So it is the pure light that radiates all the rainbow light. All right. So if you're drawn to crystals, you can use crystals to support you. You can do the meditation, especially if you feel that it's easy for you to get out of your body. You might want to get a small quartz crystal and have it in your pocket, carry it and hold it from time to time throughout the day, and it helps you to keep coming back. All right. So that would be a powerful thing. And then you can even chant Anushketa Sava, and you can
time.
chant and then blow into your crystal and then hold that. Those who know Reiki, you can blow all Reiki symbols. Those of you who've been training at least the level 2, the symbols, master symbols, blow into it, and you can place your crystal on your altar, and you can have two. You can have a small one that you carry. The big one can be on your shrine. I mean, I have lots of shrines, so I just put it here right now to help support the energy. I have a statue of the male female, and I have two crystals. One is a long one is a male female crystal. But the most important is that the most important crystal is the one in your heart, your awareness. Your awareness is like a crystal. In a lot of ancient tradition, they talk about that our awareness is like a crystal, because the crystal reflect whatever is there. It's crystal clear. Okay, yeah, yeah. So wonderful. And so, and if there is there any question about today's and the other different kind of training programs I do, you can ask me. And if not, we will be concluding. Anyone? So I do different kind of training, but the most important that I work with is meditation. I teach on behalf of my teacher, Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche, the Three Doors meditation. And I'm very much aware that when I teach meditation, I don't bring in the shamanic or the energetic, keeping it very pure. And that when I teach healing, I bring in meditation and I bring in the understanding of energy. And so understanding of energy includes the understanding of the energy of the planet, the understanding of crystals, the energy that surrounds us. How do we work with Reiki? Some of you have been training with me with Reiki, the power of attunement. But the most intense immersion is the 3-year program on mystic shamanism. And that is about that in shamanism, there is definitely some kind of romanticizing of shamanism. And that for me, it is about honoring the mystical nature of who we are, the wisdom of who we are. And so from that place, my training program is very personal. So it's not about training you to become a shaman, it's to train those who are called, who have this sensitivity. This work is very personal because we work with our shadow. We work with what stories that we've been holding on to. We work with our lineage, with our ancestors. So teaching people, oops, I'm going to now mute all. So I'm teaching those who are connected to oneness. And from that oneness, shamans just simply means seeing in the invisible realm. Seeing in the invisible realm, meaning that you see the energetic realm. So seeing in the energetic realm, um, when we are not stable in our awareness, we can get lost in that realm. So in mystic shamanic work, it is very much grounded in the wisdom, very much grounded in what I call Shakti. The Shakti is the creative feminine energy, the original 5 lights that flows from the source, and that it is from the 5 Shakti that stabilize our human mind that can get into judgment, get into fear, and solidify a story, whether it is attached to a healing or seeing a vision like, oh my God, I just saw this beautiful angel. That's an attachment, or to a fear. So we clear that attachment, and the more that we clear, the more we clear, guess what happens? The light appears more. And as the light appears more, I teach my apprentices how do you navigate that energy field. Just like in energy psychology, it's about learning to not get caught up in the stuck energy. But that energy, clearing the energy is just one way. You have to learn how do you manage energy. That is important. How do you manage the energy of your emotions? How do you manage the energy of where you get caught up, the field around you? Because the energy around you is filled with the waves of people's stories, suffering. The moment you walk into a room, if someone has just had an argument, you can sense something is prickly. You could feel it. The people might not be there, but you feel something sticky because we are energetic beings. We are energetic beings. Yes, and I know that some of you speak more of mystic shamanism. Okay, Max, anything else you want to know about the training, Max, or is this enough? And anyone that wants, you can share it too about your experience. It is intense. I'm not going to mince words. There are many of you that says, if I knew what I was signing up for, I may not have done it. But the training is to train you all to, through your own healing, to bring healing to others. So we definitely work with the 5 years, the 3 years is working with the five Shaktis, the earth. So we work with plants. We work with healing with plants. We work healing with the energy, actual plants, but the spirits of the plant as well. We work with what I call the sandbox, the earth. And from the sandbox, we're able to journey. We work a lot with our, connecting to our power animal, dreaming. Dream is very important. How do you redream? How do you understand dreams and to realize this is a dream, this reality is a dream? So recognizing how do you move from different realms. Going to sleep is one realm. So we work a lot of how do you prepare to sleep? How do you prepare to dream? How do you prepare to wake up? Working with the elements and working with making crossings. Definitely, I know it sounds interesting. Making crossing is making potion. So we make potion to bring healing. We also work with soul retrieval. I know some of you have done soul retrieval work with me, and it's very powerful. Uh, and also, we work with past lives. I always say past life is also about this life. This life, the moment, yesterday was your past of this life. But there are actual past lives that maybe it is from another time, not in this body. We work with ancestral healing. And most important, we help those who are passing to cross over. And of course, working with dark energy and recognizing that there's really no dark energy when we shine the light, when we realize, we are the one that judge the darkness. All right. So if anyone wish to learn more about it, I just finished my third tribe, the New Vision tribe, and the new tribe that will form. There are already people saying, when is the next one? There's preparation even before starting this. Have to have a strong meditation. I did not require that, but I now require it. You have to first learn meditation. Those who already meditate, that's fine. But if those who don't have a meditation, I teach something called Radiant Heart that is based on my book, Unbinding the Soul. And it is a very simplified, using science to work with the radiant heart awareness. And it's not just mindfulness, but it is about bringing mindfulness directly to where we hold our story and how can we access compassion. And it goes directly into our life. So the radiant heart meditation, is a key, and also Reiki. Everyone who study the mystic shamanism first have to have the Reiki too, because it stabilizes your energy. Reiki training helps stabilize your energy. I know some of you are in my new level two, and you've been astonished how it really stabilizes and that it works, and that we can do distance healing. Why Reiki is important? Because what is shamanic healing if it's not distance? It's it's distance healing, across space and time, connecting, journeying. But that if you're not grounded, you will lose awareness in that space. So that is so important. All right. So, and how do you sign up for classes? You email me that you're interested in this, and that there are already classes that I hold, that I already have created a Zoom. I am now moving more and more to making recordings of Zoom. So I have a Zoom recording of Reiki. I have Zoom recording of Radiant Heart. I have Zoom recording of dreams. So the recordings are already there, and that there will be classes of, when you sign up to do a one of the video recording, you will also have one-on-one meeting with it too, and that there will be occasional deepening of those who have signed up for the classes. And then by the end of next year, there might be enough people to start a new tribe of mystic shamanic healers. And and then the pilgrimage. I was supposed to take a group of people this October, and of course, it got canceled. And it's perfect because I think that next October, October 1st, we're going to go. It's only limited to 16 people. The original 16 have first dips to sign up for that. And that I know that there are a couple of people already saying that they don't think they can go, and that those who cannot go will then give their space to others who then let me know that they are interested. And by March, I will know who are the main group. I've already paid deposit to secure it, and it's a 2 weeks, and it is amazing. It is very feminine based, meaning that it's comfortable. It's I make sure that we are in really good hotels, good food, um, and we arrive in Nice, and we are going to go to this biggest Black Madonna, the biggest statue of Black Madonna, and we're going to do a ritual at the Dragon's Tail that is right by this Black Madonna statue. And then from there, we begin the pilgrimage, and we're going to be going to Singbom, and that's going to be the most powerful. That is where the forest itself is like we call it the Merlin forest, and there is an amazing turtle guardian stone there, and there are different portals. We open the veils and we go up the forest, and we go into the cave of Singbom. And some of you may have already seen photographs of energy appearing 2 years ago or last year when I went there. No, 2 years ago. Yeah, it was last year, right, Janet, Claire? Yeah, it was last year together with my French students. And suddenly in the caves, uh, the image of this female figure appeared. And it's just stone. It is wet stone. It's the color and it's the water, and you could see unmistakable the shape of this female appearing, flying in the air in the stone. So it's very magical. And from there, we're going to be going west towards we're going to the junction. There's a powerful village of healing where the salt water and um, the lake water come together, the mountain. So that is where male female energy come. And that whole area is where the seat of Isis is found. There's also where we're going to be going to a place in the Camargue Horse where Mary Magdalene, was set to get off the boat and greeted by the gypsy. And so we're going to spend days, and we're going to have time to swim in the ocean or to ride the wild horses of Camargue. So it's a powerful embodiment. So we will celebrate. We'll have good food, and and every day we will do meditation. And for those who are going to the pilgrimage, taking the Mary Magdalene class is one of the prerequisite to go through line by line. So I do, and it's already recorded, and it's line by line. Some of you have already taken it. If you wish to write about what it is, you can. So any other questions? I know that we're coming into more time. I know, Max, you say never get tired, but our body can get tired or need a break. Use the restroom or whatever it is. Um, okay, so please, every one of you have my email. Please feel free to contact me. Um, you know, so I never say never, but I think that this is most likely the last group pilgrimage I'll be doing because, I'm a grandmother and that, so I'm devoting a lot of my time. My grandson is he's so aware, sensitive to energy. When I hold him and when his grandfather come in the room, he he opens his eyes and he could feel someone else. And then he gets disturbed because there's something called the witchy hour around 6 o'clock, that he is so disturbed around the dusk because that is the liminal time. And I have to hold him, sing to him. And he wants to be cradled like by a feminine only, feminine energy only. So I want to devote more time, and also that some of you wants to say, well, I want to learn how do you, I have young children, how can I teach my children to be sensitive to energy so they don't lose it. So there's going to be further training. I also will be doing more recording. I'm going to be recording all the shamanic training in as a set of videos that it will help, because I would like to leave all of this to those who will carry on my work. So okay. When will I come to Nice? Definitely next October, if not before. Okay. If June travel is good, I will come. If not, for sure in October. Or actually, end of September. Oui, d'accord? Okay. Oui. Okay. And I have my tribe to finish that. Absolutely. Okay. You would like to participate. Of course, Andre, I know you. It is not an easy, and I'm very firm. I know many of you is like, fear me. Because I'm like the mother Kali that says, be mindful of where you're stepping. That's why you really need to do meditation, the awareness, and I also teach something on the 3 doors called walking the healing path. And it's especially for healers, especially for those who are very sensitive. I know some of you don't think of yourself as healers, but you have taken the walking the healing path and you've discovered that, oh my gosh, I'm actually sensitive. And because I'm sensitive, I have learned to shut down and just go to my head. And so when you realize you now have practices that it's safe to be in your body, so that's a key. It's safe to be in my body. If you're not safe to be in your body, you cannot really go much further. So even in energy psychology, those also know that I'm a diplomat in energy psychology. Um, some of you can also, how do you access today's recording? Yes, you can share with others. I'll be sending you the link to everyone who signed up. And that energypsych.org is also a powerful organization. And when I work with energy psych, I always say, hey, don't just stop at tapping. The most important energy connecting to is the consciousness energy, and it comes from wisdom and compassion. So you can see I have my wisdom and my compassion. So the training sometimes is called Raven's Wing. It's not that you are Raven, you are me, or that it is named after me, but it's named after the symbolism of Raven. Raven is the messenger, and it's always about death and rebirth. Shamanic work is always death and rebirth. That's why Pluto was so powerful. And that I just knew January that there was something big happening. So, what do I sense is going to happen? There will be less Plutonian energy. All right, so rest assured that the darkest part is kind of like behind us. Doesn't mean we can go back into complacency. But now, what are we going to be doing? So I'm going to bring this to say unity. We're going to have to be mindful that there will be shadow. There will be people who will fight against unity. They want to create division rather than honor diversity. So this next few months is very important. Some says, is the vaccine okay? Yes, so I also teach muscle testing. You can sense your energy. Which one? I feel more drawn to Moderna, when I test the energy. And I also know that the most important thing is that when I'm allowed to take it, I will. But I'm not going to be the one to say, let me have it. I truly believe that when I work with my immune system, the body, so also in the training program of the Raven's Wings, we work with the food we eat. It's high frequency food. We release the acidity of our body, you know, and that in the beginning, it is just meeting maybe with a Zoom, and that eventually, if it's possible, we usually meet as a retreat for those who might be overseas, maybe once at least once in 18 months is to fly and come into Southern California. Liberty Rising is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful retreat site with Kali Cave, wild animals. It's really powerful. So, and I have no idea. It could change. So I'm not attached. All right. So any other questions before we conclude? Yeah. Any other sharing that you may have? Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So thank you. Yes. Okay. Great. Winnie, so Winnie wants also affirm that when I tapped into Pfizer, I did not, with that, it is more stable. But so don't worry, it's like but the meditation is the most important, okay? When your awareness is connected to universal energy, your immune system. So especially these teachings available in Walking the Healing Path. I have recorded program about crisis. I just did one. And it says about telomere, it's about the body, what happens when you're stressed out, and why meditation, certain kind of meditation, is very helpful. All right. Okay. So let's conclude this. Anyone else? All right. So feel this blessing as two hands come together. Some of you know that this is also related to Gasho of Reiki as we touch our hearts. And recognizing that our human heart is a powerful navigator of energy and is connected to the resonance of the Earth's energy. And from the Earth's energy, it regulates the planet. So I will leave you with this little tidbit. When our heart is open, Anushketa Sava, and the crystal light opens, it radiates a powerful frequency. And when more and more hearts open, the crust of the earth, the resonance, begins to quiet. And when it quiets, it entrains the planet. So, in other words, we humans are powerful light bringer and transformer. And with that, may you have the blessed rest of the day. Continue your understanding of what story you're ready to release, welcoming joy, love. Moment you're aware, you're judging, you are going to fear, you are shutting down, you cannot forgive. You release that. You bring love and light. And tomorrow in the morning, the solstice already begin, but in the evening, please go and look at the beautiful Christmas star, the brightest, brightest light of Jupiter and Saturn that will not happen again until 2080. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone. And the recording will come to you. Okay. Blessings to you.